Hello, welcome to another wiki procedure, and today we are going to look on how you can make an application to change the officials of non-governmental organizations in Kenya. Down here below, we've given you a link which is going to direct you to our wiki procedure website page where we have given you detailed information on how you can go about the application process. We have also given you a select language option on the right hand side of our screen, through which you can select the language which you can easily understand by clicking on one of these given languages here. And by, for example, choosing Swahili, all the information on our wiki procedure website page will be translated and displayed in Swahili, and you can easily revert back to English by clicking on the downward pointing arrow once again and choosing English. We've also included external links to other websites which you can visit and get more information on how to go about the application process. And we've also included links to the application forms which you're going to make this application with. These forms, you can download them easily by going to the National NGO Coordination Board's website, or by visiting their offices. You can get them from there. We have given these links here, one being the form number 13, which is the notification of change of office bearers. We are going to go through how we are going to fill this form, and finally form number 3, which is the application for registration of the non-governmental organization of Kenya, which you are going to see how this applies to this application. But before we do that, I would like you to hit the like button, the subscribe, and also the notification bell, so you can get notifications every time we upload new content. So let's get back to our presentation. And the list of items which we're going to cover in this session include the need for change of organizations officials, the eligibility, the required documents, steps to follow while making the applications, the fees, validity period, processing time, office location and contact information, and any other information that will give us more information on how to go about the changes, on how to make the application to change the officials of an NGO. So welcome to our presentation today, which is brought to you by wikiprocedure.com. The need of change of an organization, of the organization's officials. This application allows for an NGO to change its officials and bring in new officials. This change may be due to elections, expiry of term, disciplinary decision, resignation, or even death. The eligibility to make this application is that a non-governmental organization which wants to change its officials is eligible to make this application to the NGO Coordination Board in Kenya. And the required documents are as follows. You need a duly filled notification of change of office bearer, form number 13, signed by both filled by both outgoing and incoming officials. Duly filled registration form number 3, filled by and signed by incoming officials. All applications must be accompanied by a criminal clearance certificate. We have a wiki procedure showing how you can get a criminal clearance certificate in Kenya, also known as a good conduct certificate in Kenya, an equivalent of a certificate of good conduct in Kenya from the applicant's country of origin. You also need original minutes authorizing the change of office bearer signed by both outgoing and incoming officials. And in case of death, there should be a copy of the death certificate, affidavit from the local administration, eulogy, or copy of a newspaper advertisement from any of the local dailies. You need 2 passport-size photographs of incoming officials on a white background, and a copy of the ID or passport of incoming officials. This application can only be done in person, and the steps to follow while making the application are as follows. First of all, the board of directors of the NGO should carry out a meeting and take minutes authorizing the change of office bearers signed by both outgoing and incoming officials. The minutes should be submitted within 14 days from the date of the minutes, from the date of the meeting, and the minutes should have an agenda of incorporation of new members if new members are being brought in the organization, and whenever in our records or in the records of the NGO coordination board. The minutes should also indicate the process of bringing in new officials if it was through elections, expiry of term, disciplinary decisions, resignation or death, and you are supposed to also specify other reasons which are not indicated here. The meeting for changes can either be an AGM, an annual general meeting, or a special general meeting, depending on the reason for changes. And minutes extras or resolutions communicated in the absence of full minutes are not accepted. So the whole document should be presented while making the application. After preparing the minutes, visit the non-governmental organization board offices to obtain the application form, and these forms can also be downloaded by visiting the NGO's Bureau website. These forms include the notification of change of office bearers, form number 13, which is supposed to be filled by both the outgoing and incoming officials and should be properly executed to avoid the changes not to be confirmed. And form number 3, which is the registration form, which is to be filled and signed by incoming officials only. The particulars of the incoming officials to be properly filled and legible. Now, the reason why we are using form number 3 is so we can capture the particulars of the full particulars. That's the academic, the work experience of the incoming officials. After that, you're supposed to submit the application forms, minutes, and all required documents to the non-governmental organization coordination board offices, and you should then proceed to pay the processing fees and submit the receipt to the board's offices, and a processing fee of 4,000 is charged for this letter and for the process. The processing time is 1 day, and thereafter the NGO's contact person and the outgoing officials will be contacted by the NGO board and be notified about the updated changes. So let's just have a look at these application forms. Also, you can download these forms by visiting the NGO's Bureau website, and you can download it. You can download them from there, or you can easily download. You can download them by clicking on these two links which I've provided here. In case you want to go to the website, just go to the download page and type in the name of the form. If it's form number 13, you download this form. Form number 3 is this form. So form number 3, you're supposed to fill in the name of the organization, the date, and then state that you want to change the office bearers. The outgoing officials are supposed to write their name, designations, and they're supposed to sign. The incoming officials are supposed to write their name, designation, and they're supposed to sign. You're supposed to also fill this form number 3. Form number 3 is actually the application for registration of the non-governmental organization, and you are supposed now to refill it. So just fill in the general details about the NGO. And now this is the reason why we are using also this form number 3, because in this form number 13 you're only giving the names, but in form number 3 now you're going to give the full details of office bearers, the name, the permanent and the physical and postal addresses, the nationality, their ID number, their qualifications, the PIN and everything, their education, the professional background, and everything that pertains to them. And they should also attach copies of these certificates when you're submitting this application. So the reason why you are using form number 13 is so that this information can be updated in the Bureau's registrar. So after filling these two forms and submitting them together with the formal letter of of requests. You're supposed to pay the fees of 4,000 shillings, and payments are made either by check or cash to the National Coordination Board account. The account number we've given it right here in the Cooperative Bank House branch. The validity period is forever, or until the organization decides to change its officials again, or depending, or whichever circumstance. As we have already mentioned before, it can be resignation, death, discipline, depending on the wish of the NGO. So the validity period, but it's just open. The processing time, it takes 1 day to update the changes, and after updating, the outgoing officials will be informed, and the NGO's contact person will also be informed. And the contact information of the non-governmental organization coordination board, they are located at Coop House, Haile Selassie Avenue, Nairobi, Kenya. You can visit them on their website of www.ngo.or.ke, and here you can find more information about their regional offices. This is the headquarters. We are not going to mention about the regional offices here. Other information is that at least one Kenyan must hold a substantive position, either chairperson or a treasurer, and in the information of the board, at least a third of the board members must be Kenyan for a foreign-based NGO. So thank you for watching. As you have seen, it's quite easy to make the application. And before we conclude, I'd like you to hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and also the notification bell, so you can get notifications every time we upload new content. So thank you for watching, and I wish you all the best.